So what you might think may be just ordinary yellowish green colored glass is actually wrong. So I'm going to show you in a few minutes. We're going to do a light show and it's going to be a lot of fun. But before I do, I'm going to tell you more about this perfume bottle. So this was from the 1920s or 1930s. It was made by Pyramid, and Pyramid was actually a subsidiary of Samuel Langsdorff and Company. And they sold like giftware and stuff in the United States, like novelty stationery. And so a lot of these glass bottles were made by American Depression glass companies or Czechoslovakian companies, which was known as Bohemia at the time. This particular one is a dripper bottle. Now, a lot of these other bottles have these little atomizers, but this one was actually the dripper part is on top. So it's like a dauber. And you pull out this little thing and you would dab this onto your wrists or your pressure points. And that's quite interesting. It has its original glass dauber, which is quite interesting. I'm trying to focus on it to show you. It's very hard to do so. But back to the glass. So these particular pieces, you don't see them very often. Now, mostly people that collect vintage and antique perfume bottles look for ones by De Vilbiss, and that was another really fantastic company. But a bunch of other American companies at the time were selling these perfume bottles during the 20s and 30s. Companies such as Pyramid, Aristo, Volupte, and the list goes on. But De Vilbiss was the king of them. So you don't really see too often Pyramid ones. And here's the original label. Isn't that cool? From the 1920s. So I really find that quite cool to have that original label. Most of them were marked with this little label on the bottom of the piece. Sometimes it would be like etched into the glass. But look at the color. All right. So you're seeing it. It's like more like a greenish, yellowish, clear glass, right? But I suspect this was made by an American company, again, during the time we had the Carnival glass frenzy and the Depression glass, because this stuff was inexpensive to make. And it sold for really cheap and people could afford it. So now we're going to shut the lights out and we're going to have a little light show. And you're going to see what Vaseline glass or radiation or radium glass does in the dark. So stay tuned. So we need our 1920s music to go along with our 1920s uranium light show. You ready, guys? So our perfume bottle's on the right. And I have a 1930s Bohemian glass egg on the left. Look at that. Having fun with the with uranium for sure. Look at that. So, I probably actually mentioned this in a previous video, but did you ever hear of the Radium girls? So in the 1920s and 30s, a bunch of women working for factories would paint dials of clocks with uranium paint. They ended up coming down with cancer. They couldn't figure out why their jaws were crumbling. It's because they were licking the tips of the paintbrush to point their brushes to make these dials quicker. Turns out they were only paid a penny for a clock face. They would make about $200 to $250 a day, so $2 to $2.50 a day, and it cost them their lives. So that was the fun 1920s for you. Prohibition and cancer. Look at that. The ladies would even paint their teeth so they would glow in the dark. Uranium. Now I hope to God I'm not getting sick by making this video. See what I do for you guys? Right? I love my subscribers. I put myself in peril. All right, so the light show is now over. I hope you guys had some fun with uranium, and I'll see you guys all soon. So long.